His Majesty, JB the Great.
What's up, what's up, what's up?
Man, I'm really having a moment, I have to be honest. So I was just telling them about Block Enterprise, and I'm so glad you're here to speak with us, because when I came up with, actually when God gave me the vision for Block Enterprise, when I was really passionate about gentrification, I was just like crying, like, what can I do? You know, I was listening to Victory Lap, and I was listening to it every single day, and literally when I came up with the concept and everything, Victory Lap was playing. And so it's an honor for me to be here with you, because you really inspired me. And I think what we do in real estate and finance and consulting people here and everywhere else, you do the same thing in your music in a unique way. So I'm really excited to just to connect with you and to talk about real estate and finance. And I want to start by asking you about your first real estate transaction. How did that go for you?
It was a house that my brother bought, probably like 2001, 2002, when they were doing like state income. You know what I mean? You didn't have to show no tax return, you just have down payment into the house. Right? It was probably like 07, 06, 07. And he bought a house and we turned it one room into a studio. And so that was my first experience with real estate. I was a little younger. I was like 17, 18, maybe a little older, maybe like 19. But you know, I saw somebody I grew up with on a piece of property. And I saw what it took, you know, I just kind of went through the process in his passion sheet, you know what I mean? I saw him secure the spot. So I knew it was real, I knew that it was attainable, I knew that it ain't cost. It wasn't as expensive as it looked. You see a house price like that, $1 million, $800,000, $2 million. You don't have to have $2 million to buy the house, you know what I mean? And I saw that. But the actual first real estate that I was the owner of, it's a duplex on the east side of LA. And my brother would have from that. And then we ended up buying my great grandma a house that we grew up in. Also my grandma and my mom grew up in. That's a little bit further down, so it was just a triplex. A couple condos and stuff, but the first one was a duplex. Owner I call it duplex.
That's cool. What year was it? I was talking about Victory Lap and, you know, bringing in my vision and everything that ties into it. How does language and speaking things into existence play a part of your life? And has it always been the case?
You know, I make music, I'm a writer. So I was always into words, and I always was conscious of the power of words since I was young, because I was moved by words, you know, and I was like inspired by words. Felt like you listen to a certain song and it hits you a certain way. So words was always important to me. It wasn't probably until I was like, you know, late teenage, early 20s, I started just reading, getting certain information. And like, man, you know, just seeing the power of the tongue, the power of thoughts. And then trying out what I was reading in my life and seeing it really work, you know? So, just like coming out of my teenage years into my 20s, encountering certain information, and then just trying in my life to see if there was new info I had never heard, that thoughts is things, and that is power in thoughts, and that, you know what I mean, you can project things into reality. You know, that's not like hocus pocus. Really, when you hear it for the first time, just because that's not what we raised on. I mean, you take the truth out of it and just apply it to your life, and you see it in motion, you know what I mean? Whether it's good or bad, you see people that speak negativity all the time, or just, you know, darkness, in that it creates in your life, you know? You see somebody that speak positivity and speak, you know, what they want to see, and then back in their life. You can even listen to other rappers from certain people, and they was actually saying what they wanted their life to be. It wasn't that at that time, but then throughout the years, a lot of the things that have happened, you know what I mean? Sustainable business, people can tell me something. And that's just information, and then logic, you know?
Gotcha. So, I know with one of your investments, you spent some time in Amsterdam, right? With a startup tech company.
Right.
And you were involved in cryptocurrency, which is a hot topic right now, especially in 2018. Mm-hmm. And in your experience, with it being such a volatile market, you know, and it's unregulated, how have you had any success at crypto? Since you've been involved, and would you recommend somebody that's looking to invest into crypto to actually take it seriously? Do you think it's worth the volatility?
Yeah, I think that if you're gonna invest, you should get in now, because it's low, you know what I mean? But you gotta do research. I felt like cryptocurrency solved a big problem, you know, what's going on with the banks, and just the entire fiat currency concept, you know what I mean? And just the regulated by a private bank concept. I think cryptocurrency was a solution to that. And, you know, I got my opinion on why it's crashing and what's going on with it, but, you know, we're gonna see what happens. You know, mindful. And that comes from people that's not from the community. They don't have no connection to the community. They don't care about it. You got somebody that's from over here, you know, you're not gonna just turn into a fake nigga, excuse me for just being blunt. If you was genuinely real from the jump, you're gonna stay like that. You're gonna make decisions based on what you believe in. As a landlord, you know, the property owner is just somebody in the area. So I feel like it's gonna take local entrepreneurship, people gotta buy their own areas, pull their money together, get their team, purchase their buildings, purchase their, you know, strip malls, purchase their corner stores, barbershops. That create jobs. Also, you can give local people from the area jobs. And then if you end up with some land, make some of it affordable. Create, you know, percentage of your units that, regardless of what happened with the rent, and don't even, I'm not saying hike the rent. If the rent stay the same, still make some of your units affordable. But, you know, I think, when I think about gentrification, I think about like third party developers just coming in, buying it up with no regard, and then hiking the prices, and then, you know, never step a foot, never hiring locally, from the construction to actually personnel, just keeping everything strictly business. And obviously that's not what it is, that's foul ball, you know?
That's one of my biggest concerns when it comes to Black enterprise, you know, making sure that people revitalize their homes themselves. So I know you do a lot with commercial. I was reading the Forbes article, and so I want to know how active you are in the residential space, and if you're doing anything like you mentioned to ensure that the community, you know, like sustains its legacy, I would say, with real estate, you know, so that the people still feel at home, even though, you know, property's identity and the way properties look have changed.
I mean, you know, I'm one person, so I don't own the whole area. I own the building, you know what I mean, a couple units, but just me who I am, what I believe in, I practice that in demonstration. You know, you can come to the store and see the work there. You know, hey, grannies is still living in the area. You know, what I mean, people we grew up with. You can come, you know, who's a part of the 11, who's part of the team. You know, that's just being who I am. As far as like, I'm kind of unclear on fully the question you're saying, just on the real estate residential side. What are we doing to ensure that the area still feel like the area? I mean, you smell Louisiana chicken when you pull up. You know what I mean? I don't know if that had nothing to do with the real estate, but you know what I mean? You smell Woody's, you know what I mean? And you see the Marathon store, you know the store. And you know.
I actually went to LA for the first time like 2 weeks ago, and I ran into the store, and I'm not sure if it was your uncle or who it was, but they looked just like you, and I was like, oh.
Probably his dad, yeah.
It's cool that you know, incorporate your family into your business. That's something that I think everybody should aspire to. That's how you really build that generational wealth, giving those kids an understanding or adults an understanding of how the business goes and putting them in a position.
And that's what I was gonna say too, like when you think about real estate is something that, you know, this is like a 30, 40, 50 year asset. So when you buy real estate, you know, you set your kids up and you set your generations up after. So when we talk about, you know, gentrification, what you're really doing when you buy a property in your area is you making sure that 50 years from now, it's a Black owner over here, 40 years from now, your kid, your grandkids, you know, going to own this piece of property. And they're going to be able to do what they want with it, whether it's develop it, rent it out, and they're going to be products of your ideology, they're your children. You know what I mean? So I feel like, you know, I can't find anything wrong with people from the community buying real estate. Gentrification is an issue, but I don't think it's too are at the opposite end of the spectrum. I think that, you know, you're supposed to buy your area up if you can. You know, another whole other sport is making sure that your area doesn't, you know, get gentrified, whitewashed, whatever the word is, you know what I mean? And so, but I think there's two different sports. I think they're both very important, but I don't think that, you know, one necessarily is as connected to the other as we've been, because buying real estate in the community you grew up in, it's a great one. End of story. That's the end of it. And then preventing gentrification is very important also, you know, and I think the way you do that is we gotta be more empowered. That's it, we can protest, we can do everything, you know, that's gonna be where to stop at. When we start protesting with our checks, and we come together and we purchase some things up, we got the power to do what we want with it. You know, the construction company that we hire, if we're doing a development, that's a big check they're gonna do. That's part of the financing is to deconstruct and reconstruct. Who gets to dictate who's the construction tenant? The owners of the building, the owners of the development. So that's why empowering yourself to that point, you can make the choices. Then it's only in your heart though. It's all type of little choices they're gonna make along the way. Nobody will be able to tell. But if it's in your heart to make an impact, you got some power that you can spread across, you know, a construction company, the employees once it's built, you know, the property manager, the policy of your building, you know what I mean? The type of retail that you even put under your building. You know, it's a food desert in my area. So we're gonna make sure it's some juice. It's some, you know what I mean, you can eat healthy in the area. You know, is that gentrification? Because the juice bar, you know, might bring other people to come drink some juice too. But you can't, the glass can be half empty or half full, it's how you look at it. You know what I mean? But that's an example of an owner, real estate owner, trying to be conscious and make an impact in a positive way. You know what I mean? But I do agree with gentrification is a big issue. We've seen a lot of cities that have changed completely. But I think it's bigger than us getting mad at it. We gotta be strategic. We gotta pull resources and use the power we do have to work against it. And I think that's like entrepreneurship and just investing in your community, buying, you know, for lack of a term, buying back the block for it. And
switching gears a little bit more to the financial side, because that's my baby. And I do a lot of financial planning, I work with a lot of young adults, millennials, and something I like about your brand is not thinking short term. You just talked about now, you know, when you're investing in real estate, these are 50-year type projects. And it's all about, you know, the marathon, not the sprint, right? What are some ways, when I talk to a lot of my clients, especially my younger clients, we talk about life insurance and that being a big part of your financial plan for tax benefits and just leaving generational wealth, you know, it builds the economy and helps bridge the racial wealth gap. What are some experience that you've had with life insurance, and what are some things that you could encourage some of our people here in the audience that might have not taken a look at life insurance seriously now, because they're thinking like, I want what's now. I want to put the money into things that I can see now. They can't really think long term. What is some advice you have for them when it comes to life insurance and the importance of that in your financial life?
yeah, I learned about that late, but that's I don't know the percent, but it's one of the highest percentages of how wealth is handed down. It's through the life insurance policy. It's not the lot of it, sure, it's not the lot of it, but it's also not the inheritance. It's not the money you got handed down from your parents. It's not the, you know, real estate portfolio, the stocks, the art. It's the life insurance policy. So when I found that out, I'm like, wow, you know, and you know, somebody that, you know, kind of mentored me, educated me just on like financial understanding. You know, it's like, man, you can spend $10,000 a year on a $10 million policy. You know what I mean? And it's a little more than $1,000 a month, a little less than $1,000 a month. But it's like, think how much we spend 10 bands on, how many different things. That's not like a little throwaway amount of money, especially for young people in college and just, you know, coming up in the world. But when you get to your levels and you figure out what to do with your bread, $10,000, you can go to a store and blow that. You know, you can go on a trip and blow that. If you can budget that into your lifestyle, you create a $10 million life insurance policy that you can put in the trust, you know what I mean?
Right.
You know, give to your kid, God forbid, something happen to family, girl, wife, whatever. You know, that's a big game changer. And one thing we all gonna die, so it makes sense.
I appreciate that plug too, because we're on the energy, so that helped my business when it comes to life
You
insurance.
said you do what?
I appreciate that plug in because with you being an influencer, you know, a lot of people, they hear and talk to you, but until they hear somebody that is known and that they respect on a different type of level, hear somebody like you and your status be able to really give the importance of life insurance and really break that down. I know that's going to change people's mindsets. There's somebody now that I can impact or somebody else in my profession that can impact because now they'll hurt you.
Oh, you sell that shit.
Yeah, I'm a that's it, yeah. You know I'm going with that.
I don't, you know what I'm saying? I said, no, that's it.
Yeah, so I appreciate that. And I always tell my clients that's the biggest part of your financial plan. We get into the stock market, which is great, but your foundation, and they don't know, that's a big part. Like you said, that's one of the highest ways to bring back generational wealth. It's either through, you know, God forbid you pass, or you stay alive and you want to use it as, you know, a tax-free source, you know, to pull from for your real estate investment. So separating from that, say, I know a lot, we're talking about real estate, and you are getting a lot of notoriety right now in real estate. How are your real estate assets providing outlets for you to add other assets to your portfolio?
I mean, after a while, when you got income producing property, the bank see it as income and not debt. So, you know, if you was to buy single homes, you know, to live in big $4 million, $3 million houses instead of $1 million building here, $2 million building here, $1 million building here, it'll show up on your credit as $4 million of debt. But because it's an income property, that $1 million debt, that's the 30-year mortgage, is actually showing up as a $2,000 a month income because the leases outweigh the mortgage. And then the other, you know, $2.5 million unit is showing up as $8,000 of income instead of $2.5 million of debt. So the more you accumulate, you go back to the bank and your income is stronger every time you close. And you just got to come with your down payments and do it again. But then, you know, it's different ways of doing it. I wouldn't even call myself the expert. You know what I mean? I don't own 500 units, you know, 500 pieces of property. But, you know, as far as me being a hip-hop artist and being transparent with what I'm doing with my surplus and what I'm doing with my investment, that's what I believe in. And I'm leaning toward real estate, you know. Because I've even been told that you might get a unit that or a building that has 50 units. Instead of going to get 10 buildings that got 5 units, or 5 buildings that got 10 units. Because if the company go bad on one of your buildings, you know, you still got 4 other buildings. And you gotta go in this one building. So it's a potential that throughout the year, 5 companies gonna go bad, 5 roofs gonna go bad, 5, you know, just maintenance issues where if you got this one building that got 500 units, it's only one set of plumbing for the same amount of units, the same amount of rent. It's only one roof. You know what I mean? So it's just different ways of going at it. But and income producing real estate, you can't go wrong. Yeah.
Definitely. I know we were reading Forbes article and talking a lot about some of the things that you're doing with your business partner. How did you become so comfortable, you know, with co-investing with someone in something as big as real estate?
I think that you gotta read people, you gotta vet people, you know what I mean? In business, you gotta trust somebody, but you gotta verify, you know, before you just put your money in anything. And you know, it's not hard to do background checks on people and find people references and just check what's real. And you go off your spirit, your gut too, you know, but I'm not loose with my investments with my partners at all, you know. But just in the situation today, you know, the demonstration matched up to what the conversation was, you know, and, you know, everything through a bank, everything through a contract, everything we notarized. And so, we done things on top of the line. We ain't do no, like, backdoor business, everything was official. And so good, and then what it said, and just with anything, I've been doing business for a long time, and you never know. You're gonna shake somebody's hand, look them in their eyes, say you're gonna agree to your terms, and then time gonna tell you the rest. And some people more honorable than others, and some people more reliable and consistent with their word than others. But that's the nature of the world we're living in. So you just develop, a filter for BS, and I think I'm pretty good at that.
Even when you build your filters, this is a good question too, because me and April are basically, we are car masters. We have the power foundation, which is the umbrella.
Fully promote is guns, it's shootings that take place. In my music you'll hear about that, right? But that's not the way I would express it as a cool little widget at the top of my website. And so just things like that I got turned off with not being involved in the creative side of it, just the market really. And later on I found out that that's just the structure of the industry and the labels. But I made a marketing plan called Private Pay, and ended up, being historical, instead of the $100 CD and, making an impact just on the marketing level like that. And so it's damn, anybody that label that would have came with one of them ideas in the meeting, you get promoted as a marketer, or just somebody in a situation environment like that for an idea like that. So the fact that I wasn't allowed in the marketing meetings and I had ideas like that, it just, to me, I'm oh y'all misjudge me. There's a perception of a rapper or a street dude, I don't have valuable opinion outside of entertainment, outside of tap dancing, singing, rap, or whatever. And I was offended by that. I took offense to that. And then, from another point of view, it's not on you, it's in you. And I believe you don't know what's up with a person based on how they look. You can judge and have your assumptions, but people will throw you off on purpose. People will dress down on purpose. People will just, control your perception of how they present themselves. So you don't know what's the real truth of a person until you tap in and engage. So I carry that also. If I'm walking in a business environment, and I might have an unorthodox look on for this environment, it's not on me, it's in me. And I don't want to deal with you if you can't understand it and you can't, accept or, absorb what I have to offer through conversations, through what I should put on the table when we sit down. I probably don't want to even be in no business with you. Yeah. But I'm lucky, I'm a rapper, so I get a little bit of, They give me a different wiggle room because of what you expect from a rapper.
Do you feel like that's new, with rappers having that wiggle room? Because I feel like a lot of people still associate, a lot of rappers with a street lifestyle, or the lifestyle they used to live. I feel like people, gatekeepers like Jay-Z and like Diddy I would say Jay-Z, I wouldn't say Diddy, but have reshaped that perspective, and it's becoming more prevalent because of social media, and it's something that's newer for a rap, to be more accepted, or rap artists that have a street lifestyle be more accepted.
I think it's about the person, because I don't think that selling crack is accepted. I don't think gangbanging is accepted. I think that reality of life is accepted. You gotta respect what's true and what's real. And so when a person don't shy away from their past and be honest about where they come from, that's different than, glorifying or caring or being stuck in it. And I think, that's based on how the individual can, because you can carry it either way. You can preach to a choir and just, speak to what you know happens in the streets. Or you can take a different approach and be like, yeah, I'm from this, I come from this. But I'm rapping because clearly that's what worked for me. So I went to the studio. I'm clearly not still doing that shit. So, here's what I did, and here's how I got from right there to where I'm at. And if you try to do what I'm talking about, you might make some progress too. And so, I think based on the individual, and I think the individual you name, Jay, or wherever else you might make the transition, I think they carry it a certain way, and that got the respect of, business people or whoever else, you know what I mean? So it's like, okay, even with Meek Mill doing, you know, coming out of jail and, you know, campaigning for reform, having owners of professional teams being able to understand something that if it wasn't for the way Meek explained it, they wouldn't ever understand it. You know, if they wasn't for the relationship with them knowing the rapper from that city. And then that rapper being connected and having the past and the testimony they had, they wouldn't have to understand that. Yeah. So I think it's best for the individual, you know.
One thing I want to know, we've gotten a lot from you lately, like I said, this past article. What is something new on the horizon for you in the finance or real estate realm that we can look forward to expecting here in the future?
I can't announce no deals, man.
I have to try, I know we didn't say that.
But nah, man, you know, we've been blessed. Everything has been moving forward. We had a lot of, like, things we wrote down on the whiteboard years ago what we wanted to do. Buy that building was one of the things we wanted to do. You know, be able to just, you know what I mean? I really play the novel. You know what I mean? It's a process. It's a long process, you know. We got some big real estate announcements that's going to unfold throughout the rest of the year. You know, that I was really surprised that we was able to be involved in, really excited about being involved in. You know, I think part of what we all should look into is the opportunity zone. You know, that's something we should all research. I just learned about it recently, and it's something that Sean Parker, who created Napster and who also was part of Facebook, went and talked to Obama about. And the convo was basically, Obama like, man, y'all in this tech world, you know, why don't y'all invest in the inner city? And Sean Parker like, why you don't give us a reason to? You know, we capitalists, we trying to flip money, we understand, but why you don't give us a tax incentive, give us a reason, and leave everybody with? So there's this thing called opportunity zones created, and it's a tax deferral for capital gains that take place in these communities. The Crenshaw district in LA is one of the communities. Downtown LA is one of the communities. You know, Baltimore, Brooklyn, all these different places, it's an opportunity zone. So if you hold this asset for over 10 years, you don't pay no taxes on it. None. And it's the biggest tax break in the tax code, period. And it just got passed recently. And so that store we purchased, the building purchase, is in the opportunity zone. So it's just another incentive to invest in the community, you know what I mean? But it's called opportunity zone. Y'all Google that, y'all get y'all money's worth for coming in here.
Contact me, y'all, there's a lot of opportunities.
Say what?
I was letting you know there's opportunity zones outlined or redlined on the city's website. If y'all go on there and look, you can see the areas, and you know, if you want more information, definitely reach out to me. But I want to ask you, I know you're focused on, you know, what you have going on in LA right now. Are you interested in investing in other areas? I believe I saw on the article that you guys were looking for some major cities to do some other things in.
Yeah, so with Vector 90, which is Dave Rose and myself, the co-working space that we came up with in LA, we want to scale that. We want to take that all across America. And we got partners in certain other markets, Baltimore, you know, the DMV area, a few other markets that we build relationships with people. Because you see how I'm like an influential celebrity artist, whatever you call me. And I'm connected to the Vector 90 in LA. That's the model for the rest of the city. We want to connect with an influencer. And then Dave is obviously a real estate developer. We deal with the banks in that market, the construction companies in that market, and, you know, scale it across America. So to answer the question,
Is there any unique features to you guys as co-working spaces, for instance, like something like a music studio or, you know, something?
what's unique about it is the bottom level is going to be a STEM center. So, you know, it'll be a science, technology, engineering, and math center. And then, you know, it's programming that goes on at the co-working space. So it'll be a night where the trademark lawyer comes through. Or it'll be a night where it's a networking night for women. All the women entrepreneurs come in here and, you know what I mean, lock in. And then it'll be a night when it's just, you know, like they lock the doors and they invite
invite all local entrepreneurs to pull up, and it's just a networking event. So it's programming that goes on consistently throughout the month. I think that's what's set aside from like WeWorks or one of those situations. Yeah, you know what I mean? And then there's also like an incubator element to it. So any of the entrepreneurs that develop products and ideas, they can pitch it to myself and Dad. And every year we invest in, you know, multiple entrepreneurs. You know what I mean? Last year we put, I think it was 50,000 toward, you know, 3 or 4 different entrepreneurs. That was back to 90 participants. Yeah. You know? And it's growing though. Like we just opened it last year. We had a dope first couple of months. You know what I mean? We opened it in February, so it's almost a year now. But you know, the idea is still unfolding. You know what I mean? Once we get it all the way where we want it in LA, I think the next stop is going to be the DMV area. Yeah.
Switching the vibe a little bit as we get ready to end with these last few questions. What are some things that you like to collect? Do you have like any hobbies when it comes to collections? You know you're passionate, you're Mr. GQ now, but anything outside of that?
I mean, I like jewelry, you know what I mean? I like watches. I like classic cars, you know what I mean? I think, obviously, everybody talking about art and how good an investment art is. You know, I like it more to look at than just like as an investment. But nah, not nothing crazy. I ain't a crazy collector. Yeah. Books, for real. If anything, I got a crazy book collection. Yeah. That's it.
I have one last. You got a question for us? If you know the story, just throw it out.
The crowd got a question. Like more than 2 questions.
What book are you reading right now?
What's up with the Dr. Sebi documentary? For real. They gonna come out soon?
Man, we gonna work on that. He asked about the Dr. Sebi documentary. We working on it. It's not. I'm not gonna say it's coming out soon. And one thing too about that, I'm not making a campaign to turn people vegan. I ain't vegan. You know what I'm saying? I read the story, and the story was interesting. The story was powerful, and it was how he went to court and was accused of false advertising because he said he cured all these uncurable diseases. And he went to court to prove that he did. And we don't know about that. Nobody talking about it. So I just think that court trial, that story, is a great story that should be told, you know what I mean? So I've been seeing the Protect That campaign on IG and all that. I look at it like it's an interesting story, you know what I mean? Storytelling is music, movies, that's what that is, storytelling. You know?
What's your favorite book?
Oh man, the Marathon book is coming soon.
What book are you reading right now?
Who's by the door?
Yeah, that's a good one.
Someone asked what book are you reading right now?
Man, I was reading, you know what I was reading for real this morning? I was reading this like the history of the brand Chanel. You know? I don't know why I was reading that. I don't know reading about that.
Use that, Carlos.
Okay, I got a question. Yeah. You said you collect watches and jewelry. Would you give any advice to any young people that like to buy jewelry and stuff like that? What would be a better investment as far as that goes? Because I see you got on a lot of gold, and I understand that gold kind of has a tendency to retain its value as opposed to other things. Do you have any advice on that?
On like what the best jewelry is about?
Yeah, as far as...
Just make sure you don't get ripped off. That's the main thing. The only jewelry on the stock market. You know, so like gold go up and down every day. Diamonds, all that shit on the stock market. So when you get ripped off with the labor, you be lazy and you don't do your due diligence, and then somebody charge you something crazy for something that's way less, and they take the difference of the price of labor, charge you for not knowing. So that's how I say this. You know, if you're gonna buy jewelry, become a jewelry expert. If you're gonna spend some money on it, but it do hold value. So your jewelry, God forbid you're going through a hard time, you always got your jewelry. You can make a move on it right now, right today. You know? Yeah.
I know you said, what it been, Black History Month, I know you said real estate can last you for the next 50 plus years, with you being a rap artist. What would be more important to you for the next 50 years? Would you rather be known as a real estate man, as a businessman, or for more known for your music?
That was a good question.
I mean, if I be honest, what I would rather be known for, I think music, because it's more personal. You know what I mean? So you will know me better through my music than you will to know how to build at home, or like my strategy and what I did business-wise. I don't think music is more important than business. I don't think that one or the other is more important. I think that I would rather be known for my art, my expression, than my business.
Appreciate it, bro.
Yeah.
Yo, what's some ways I can elevate my music career, like to become a bigger artist?
Just make better music and just keep working. Not to say music bad now, but just keep getting better, make better music, keep working. Yeah.
I got some merch for you, fam.
Right here.
We gonna regulate this, y'all just.
So, in the beginning of your career, your investment career, what was one of your weaknesses that later turned into a strength?
That's a good question.
Thank you.
Yeah. She said at the beginning of my investment career, what was a weakness that has turned into a strength. I don't know if I can think of one off the top of my head. I don't know if I can tell you a lot of my weaknesses. I don't know how many turn into strengths, but I think like I have no resources. I have enough resources. That's the number one thing you do at the beginning. So everything critical. You make an investment, that shit gotta work. It gotta turn around. Making progress, becoming successful, they don't be such critical moves. You can afford to kind of like try something, ain't gonna let the bank on it, but you know what I mean? You can kind of learn without breaking yourself. Yeah.
We're gonna do one more. Do it in the back, that's it.
In the black community, the mental health is really not talked about.
Speak up.
I'm gonna repeat.
Mental health is really not talked about. I really want to know like what's your vision for how important mental health is.
Now he said, in his opinion, mental health is not really talked about in the black community, in our communities. And he said, what's my opinion on it? Man, I think that's right. I think more than anything though, we dealing with being broke. We feel that first. After you get that handled, or you get that semi under control, you gonna run into your own personal state where you're at mentally and emotionally. And even if you run into some power, if you get a big check and you make a big move, you know, maintaining the power is gonna be largely based on managing your mental state, your emotional state. And so you got all type of issues people dealing with. In violent areas, young people deal with stress, traumatic stress off of just being violent, being exposed to violence. You know what I mean? That's not natural behavior. And that has an effect on it. You know what I mean? People turn antisocial, being in gangs and can't go on this side of town, can't trust nobody with their homies, and can't trust their homies. So yeah, it's a lot of mental issues, depression, all type of things. You know, but I think we dealing with that rent and that, you know, the diapers, and, you know, that bail money. So, you know, you can be like, I might be crazy, but this rent do it.
Is the Pony Center real though?
Oh.
Pony Center CC, is it real?
I don't understand what you said.
Pony Center.
Cloning center. Cloning center?
How the hell would I know, bro?
This is gonna be the last question, you guys. This one right here in the front. No more questions. If you wanna ask questions, send them to our Instagram at the Power Strip, and we'll try to get to them.
So I am a black business owner of construction and a concrete pumping company. When about how rebuilding, and that the larger companies are the companies that they use to rebuild, to use construction. My question would be, I do residential right now. How do I get into commercial and not be overbid or underbid by the bigger companies, being a smaller black owner?
Man, that's a good question too. I don't know the details of that, but what I do know is that certain developments have a mandate to hire a minority construction, right? So you are a double minority.
Exactly.
Because you are a black person and you're a woman.
Yeah.
So by you being in that business, you know, you can take full advantage of them developers by just being aware. Even if you got, I don't know how realistic it is to move a construction company, but you know, to really just be up on the developments. Cause I'm from LA, I know the developments in LA right now, it's like 30% almost gotta be minority.
Right. They have to be a certain amount, but it is hard when you go into it and you try to get into the process of bidding.
Yeah.
You're really fighting against the larger companies to not be underbid, where you can make at least some good profit.
Because the big company gonna say we're gonna charge the least amount.
Yes, exactly.
And they gonna push all the mom and pop operations out the way.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know how to really, I don't know. You know, you gotta fight hard, you know?
We appreciate you being there.
Thank you.